Next, coming to classification of anti-cancer drugs. Anti-cancer drugs are classified in two ways. So first method is whether the drugs acting as anti-cancer drugs are cell cycle specific or cell cycle non-specific. Cell cycle specific and cell cycle non-specific. So based on whether they are acting on all phases of cells irrespective of the phase of the cell cycle, or whether they are acting specifically at some phase of the cell cycle, then they are classified as cell cycle specific anti-cancer drugs and cell cycle non-specific anti-cancer drugs. Coming to examples of cell cycle specific anti-cancer drugs, so these include drugs like etoposide. Etoposide, it acts at G1 and S phases. And antimetabolites act at S phase. And bleomycin and etoposide act on G2 and M phases, that is mitosis phase. And vinca alkaloids, taxanes, estramustin act on mitosis phase of cell cycle. So these are the examples of cell cycle specific drugs: etoposide, antimetabolites, bleomycin, vinca alkaloids. So all these come under the cell cycle specific drugs. And next, coming to the cell cycle non-specific drugs. So cell cycle non-specific drugs include platinum compounds, alkylating agents, anthracyclines, mitomycin, and camptothecins. So these come under the examples of cell cycle non-specific drugs. And anti-cancer drugs can also be classified as alkylating agents. Alkylating agents include nitrogen mustards. Examples for nitrogen mustards are mechlorethamine, cyclophosphamide, ifosfamide, melphalan, and chlorambucil. So these are examples of nitrogen mustards. And next category belonging to alkylating agents are ethylene imines. Ethylene imines examples are thiotepa and hexamethyl melamine. Next category of alkylating agents include alkyl sulfonates. These include examples like busulfan. And next category is nitrosoureas. These include carmustine, lomustine, and streptozocin. And last category of alkylating agents are triazines. Examples are procarbazine, dacarbazine, and temozolomide. So these are the examples of alkylating agents. So we have some tricks to remember these things. Some drugs like alkyl sulfonates. So alkyl sulfonates example is busulfan. So you can remember it by albus, alkyl sulfonates busulfan. So alkyl sulfonates busulfan, albus. And you can remember nitrosoureas. Examples for nitrosoureas are carmustine, lomustine, and streptozocin. So to remember this, ni, car, low, strepsils unnai. So ni means nitrosoureas, car means carmustine, low means lomustine, strep means streptozocin. So this is how you can remember easily. And next, triazines. So triazines, how to remember triazines is procar, dakar, TT. So procar means procarbazine, dakar means dacarbazine, TT means temozolomide, and the category of drug is triazines. So this is how we can remember this triazines category. Next, platinum compounds. So platinum compounds are the next category of anti-cancer drugs. Platinum compounds, you can remember platinum compounds by the code cis-carboxyliplatin. 6-carboxyliplatin. Usually the platinum compounds, they end with the word platin. So examples for platinum compounds that are acting as anti-cancer drugs are cisplatin, carboplatin, and oxaliplatin. So you can remember these drugs by cis-carboxyliplatin. Cis means cisplatin, carbo means carboplatin, and oxali means oxaliplatin. So this is how you can remember this word. So cis-carboxyliplatin. So this is about the platinum compounds. And next category you have is antimetabolites. So antimetabolites. So so metabolites, they lead to formation of DNA or folic acid. DNA and folic acid. See here, DNA, it consists of base pairs. These base pairs are purines and pyrimidines. So these antimetabolite drugs, they include analogues of purines, pyrimidines, and folic acid. These include analogues of purines, pyrimidines, and folic acid analogues. So AN for analogues. Antimetabolites, they are analogues of purines, pyrimidines, and folic acid. So let us discuss about these purine analogues. So purine analogues include examples 6-mercaptopurine, 6-thioguanine, and cladribine, pentostatin. pentostatin. So these come under the purine analogs. So purine, the word purine, it consists of 6 letters. 6 letters. So it consists of 6 mercaptopurine. So purine, this letter also meant for purine. So purine. So this drug comes under purine analog, 6 mercaptopurine. And 6 thioguanine. So guanine is a purine. So it is a purine base. So 6 thioguanine, it comes under purine analogs. And cladribine pentostatin comes under purine analogs. And pyrimidine analogs. And pyrimidine analogs include examples 5-fluorouracil, citarabine, and gemcitabine. Pyrimidine analogs include 5-fluorouracil. 5-fluorouracil is written in the short form as 5-FU. So as you know, uracil is a pyrimidine. Thymine and uracil are pyrimidines. So it consists of the name uracil. So it belongs to the category pyrimidine analog. So 5-fluorouracil, citarabine and gemcitabine comes under the examples of pyrimidine analogs. Next, folic acid analogs. Folic acid analogs include methotrexate and pemetrexed. Methotrexate and pemetrexed. Methotrexate and pemetrexed are examples of folic acid analog. So these drugs, they inhibit the folic acid. So folic acid analogs, okay, they are similar to folic acid and they bind in place of folic acid and inhibit the formation of DNA. So these are folic acid analogs. These include methotrexate and pemetrexed. And next category of drugs include natural products. And natural products that are coming under anti-cancer drugs include vinca alkaloids. So in the name you have vinca, So vinca alkaloids. So examples include vincristin, vinblastin, and vinorelbin. So examples for vinca alkaloids are vincristin, vinblastin and vinorelbin. So these are examples for vinca alkaloids. Next, coming under taxanes. Taxanes also come under natural products. Taxanes include paclitaxel, docetaxel and docetaxel. So here trick to remember. So all of them, they contain tax. So tax is the word present in all. Taxanes, paclitaxel, docetaxel. So do pay the tax. So do means docetaxel. Pay means so paclitaxel. Taxanes. Do pay the tax. So this is how you can remember it. And epipodophyllitoxins. Next category is epipodophyllitoxins. So here it consists of PO. So examples are etoposide and teniposide. So it consists of sites. So po. It is common in all the words. Epipodophyllitoxins, etoposide and teniposide. Etoposide, you can remember it as etoposide. So that is etoposide. So they come under epipodophyllitoxins. They contain Po. and side. It is common word. And next drugs are anti-tumor antibiotics. Next, natural products. Natural anti-cancer drugs. Anti-cancer drugs include anti-tumor antibiotics. Anti-tumor antibiotics. So here drugs include anthracyclines. So anthracyclines involve daunorubicin, doxorubicin, epirubicin. So here these drugs they end with rubicins. Anthracyclines they end with rubicins and idarubicin. So these are examples of anthracycline anti-tumor antibiotics, and it also include drugs like bleomycin, dactinomycin, and mitomycin C. So anti-tumor antibiotics include anthracyclines, they end with rubicins. So rubicin, daunorubicin, doxorubicin, epirubicin, idarubicin, and it also contain bleomycin, dactinomycin, and mitomycin. Okay. And next category drugs include enzymes. So certain enzymes that are derived from natural products, they act as anti-cancer drugs. These include L-asparginase. So any word that is ending with ase is called as enzyme. So L-asparginase is an example of anti-cancer drug. Next category of anti-cancer drugs involve hormones and related drugs. So hormones and related drugs involve corticosteroids, and corticosteroids consist of prednisolone and prednisone. Are examples of corticosteroids. Corticosteroid drugs are prednisolone and prednisone. Next category in this is anti-estrogens. So these include Xifen, tamoxifen, and doloxifen, and aromatase inhibitors. Aromatase inhibitors include letrozole, orozole. So aromatase inhibitors they end with rosole, letrozole, orozole, anastrozole. So they end with trozole or rosole. Letrozole, orozole, anastrozole. Next category in this hormones and related drugs are progestins. So progestins include medroxyprogesterone acetate, and next category is estrogens. It include diethyl stilbestrol, and ethinyl estradiol. Next category is androgens. Androgens include testosterone. You already know testosterone is a androgen. And anti-androgens Androgens. Anti-androgens include drugs like flutamide. Next category drugs are GnRH analogs. GnRH is Graafian follicle releasing hormone. So these include leuprolide, gosirelin, nafarelin, busurelin, and hysterelin. So these are examples of Graafian follicle releasing hormone analogs. The next category is Graafian follicle releasing hormone antagonists. So these include drugs like cetorelix, ganirelix, and abarelix. Cetorelix, ganirelix, and abarelix. So they end with the words relix. So Graafian follicle releasing antagonists examples end with words relix. So these are cetorelix, ganirelix, and abarelix. And next category is miscellaneous agents. So these miscellaneous agents they include biological response modifiers, BRMs. Biological response modifiers they include recombinant interleukin 2 drugs and GM-CSF and GCSF drugs and monoclonal antibodies. And these monoclonal antibodies they end with the word MAB at the end. Examples rituximab. So MAB, if any drug that ends with the MAB at the end, it is a monoclonal antibody. So rituximab is one drug that is acting as biological response modifier. It is coming under monoclonal antibodies. And another example is trastuzumab. So this is also a monoclonal antibody. It ends with the MAB. So these are the biological response modifying drugs. Next category coming under other miscellaneous agents include substituted urea. Example hydroxyurea. So urea. So substituted urea, hydroxyurea. Next category tyrosine kinase inhibitors. So tyrosine kinase inhibitors. Tyrosine kinase is an enzyme. Tyrosine kinase inhibitors include imatinib, geftinib. So they end with the word tinib. Imatinib, geftinib, and erlotinib. So these end with the word tinib. Tinib's tyrosine, TT. Tyrosine tinibs. Next category drug is retinoids. Example isotretinoin. Isotretinoin is an example of retinoids. Retin, rhyming words. Retin. So isotretinoin, retinoids. You can remember in this way. Next drug category arsenic compounds. Example arsenic trioxide, arsenic trioxide. And next last category is adenosine deaminase, deaminase inhibitor. And examples for adenosine deaminase inhibitor is pentostatin, pentostatin. So with this we end the classification of these drugs. And one more drug is adrenal cortex suppressant, adrenal cortex suppressant. Example is mitotane. So this is the complete classification of anti-cancer drugs. So anti-cancer drugs in classification is a very big classification. It consists of alkylating agents which involve nitrogen mustards like mecloridamine, cyclophosphamide, ifosfamide, and melphalan and chlorambucil. And ethylamines include thiotepa and hexamethylamine, and alkyl sulfonates include busulfan, and nitrosoureas include carmustine, lomustine, and streptozocin, and triazines include procarbazine, dacarbazine, and these are triazines. Next category drugs, platinum compounds. These include cisplatin, carboplatin, oxaliplatin. And antimetabolites are purine, pyrimidine, and folic acid analogues. Purine analogues are 6-mercaptopurine, 6-thioguanine, cladribine, and pentostatin. And pyrimidine analogues are 5-fluorouracil and citarabine, gemcitabine. Folic acid analogues are methotrexate, pemetrexate. And natural products are zinc alkaloids like vincristine, vinblastin, vinorelbine. And taxanes include paclitaxel, docetaxel. So to remember this, do pay the tax. Next category, epipodophyllitoxins. These include etoposide and teniposide. So it consists of po, and po as common words and sides as common words. And next category, natural anti-cancer drugs include other drugs like anti-tumor antibiotics. These include anthracyclines and daunorubicin, doxorubicin, and epirubicin, and idarubicin also. And it consists of bleomycin and actinomycin, mitomycin C. Enzymes include L-asparginase. Hormones and related drugs include corticosteroids like prednisolone and prednisone. Antiestrogens include tamoxifen and doloxifene. They end with xifens. And aromatase inhibitors are letrozole, varozole, and anastrozole. They end with trozole. And progestins include medroxyprogesterone acetate, and estrogens include diethyl stilbestrol and ethinyl estradiol. And androgens include testosterone. And anti-androgens include flutamide. Next drug, graphene follicle releasing hormone analogues include leuprolide, gosrelin, nafarelin, busrelin, hysterelin. They end with the word relin. So relin is the common word here in these drugs: gosrelin, busrelin, hysterelin, and nafarelin. Next, graphene follicle releasing hormone antagonists include citorelix, ganirelix, and abarelix. They end with the words relix, relin. Next, miscellaneous agents include biological response modifiers. These include recombinant interleukin 2 antagonists, agonists, and GM-CSF and G-CSF agonists, and monoclonal antibodies like rituximab and trastuzumab, which end with the MAB. So they are monoclonal antibodies. Substituted urea include hydroxyurea. So urea, common words. Next, tyrosine kinase inhibitors. These include imatinib and geftinib and erotinib. So TT. So they end with the tinib. So the starting letter is also T. Tyrosine kinase inhibitors: imatinib, geftinib, erlotinib. Next, retinoids. These include isotretinoin, tretin, rhyming words. Arsenic compounds, arsenic trioxide. And adenosine deaminase inhibitor, example pentostatin. And adrenal cortex suppressant is mitotane. So this is all about the classification of anti-cancer drugs. In the next video, let us discuss about the pharmacology of individual anti-cancer drugs.